1979 Sugar Bowl. Matching two teams battling on the field for the game that could mean the national championship. Number 1 ranked Penn State Nittany Lions, number 2 ranked Crimson Tide of Alabama. And it'll take place right here in one of the pieces of construction that's been called the marvel of the decade, the Superdome. Inside, warm and dry. Outside, cold and wet. Penn State and Alabama in the Superdome in New Orleans. Look at this. Penn State, 11 wins and no losses, first in all the major polls, the only Division 1A team to go undefeated. Alabama lost one time to USC in Birmingham, but since that time they've rolled them off. This is a dream matchup, only the 5th time that 1 and 2 in the polls have met on the field. The past history of this kind of matchup reflected there. The Rose Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, the Rose Bowl, and the last time it happened was the 1972 Orange Bowl. The bands, the people, the flavor, the ambiance, call it what you want. Let's call it, for the sake of one word, spirit. You'll never find a group of people more intensely interested than the group of people who are gathered here in the Superdome, because so many of them have come from so far away to see their favorite team play. And it's the first time that Penn State really has ever had a chance to go on the field and win their first national championship. Hello, everybody. I'm Keith Jackson. And talking about this national championship, let's define it this way. If the undefeated Nittany Lions win this ball game today, it seems a virtual certainty they will be accorded the posture as national champions. If Alabama should win today, it would appear that we'll have to wait until all the voting is done in the polls and they are published. Because if Alabama wins today, you know that USC, for one, has a rightful claim for some degree of recognition in that area. You also know that Oklahoma, if they should defeat Nebraska, will be in a position to claim some first-place votes as well. So that's pretty much the simplest definition we can give you. But I will tell you this, that when we had the preseason polls before the first game was played, Alabama was picked to be number 1 and Penn State was picked to be number 3. But that was a long time ago. And right now, the Nittany Lions of Penn State have entered the Superdome, led by their coach, Joe Paterno. You can see the Lions started slowly. Tough game against Temple. Along the way, they had some other tough moments. But toward the end of the season, they were very solid, beating good football teams. And here comes Alabama. Coached by Bear Bryant. Lost one time to USC in the 3rd game of the season, 24-14, won all the rest of them. Had some close calls, but the Bear praised his young people for their audacity, for the willingness to ignore the circumstances that made life difficult for them, and they just kept on winning. And here they are with a chance, they feel, to win a national championship. Working with us as analyst and commentator today, Mr. Frank Broyles. And Frank, we've talked considerably now about the offense, but you and I both know that Joe Paterno and Bear Bryant build their football teams on defense.
Well, Penn State is the best defensive football team in the country. And the reason is, Keith, they play hard and aggressive against the run. In fact, they try to shut it down completely. And when they do, watch out. Here comes a big rush that demoralizes most offensive units. But I should point out that this is the first time in 3 years that Penn State has faced the wishbone attack.
We have 3 All-American defensive tackles out on the field today. 2 of them play together in the Penn State line, Matt Millen and Bruce Clark.
General Bob Nalen of Tennessee, Keith, used to say that the Lord is on the side of the team with the 2 best tackles. And these 2 at Penn State are outstanding. They can disrupt any offensive running attack and then put extreme pressure on the passer.
Alabama offers you Marty Lyons and some ferocious linebackers.
Yes, Marty Lyons leads the team, strangely enough, as a down lineman in tackles at 112. And Barry Krause is also an All-American, and he's big and strong and tough and knows how to play against the run.
What then can we expect in the way of offensive tactics?
Well, Alabama feels that they must use a variety of formations to play against this strong Penn State defense. They feel like if they can shift and use man in motion, they can keep the defense off balance. And then, Keith, they have a chance to set up the key play in the wishbone attack. That's the fullback handoff. If they don't do this, they won't have a chance to run wide or throw much.
One of the things that we have here, other than the fact that we have two very good football teams about to play each other, ranked 1-2, we have two great coaches across the field from each other.
Very definitely, Keith. Joe Paterno is one of the great football coaches this nation has ever seen. He stands for the things that we love in athletics. People admire and respect him. His players love him, and he's a winner in every respect. And Bear Bryant, in the coach's opinion, I think everybody is the greatest motivator of people the game has ever seen. Year after year, Keith, he can come up with a great football team. His teams never see complacency. They give their very best when their best is needed.
That's enough conversation. Let's play the game. Here's Major Ogilvie returning it for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Having won the toss, and Ogilvie is brought down by Giuseppe Harris as he reached the 20-yard line. Here is the offensive backfield for the Crimson Tide of Alabama. These pictures were taken at the Court of Two Sisters. The quarterback is the senior, Jeff Rutledge. Tony Nathan opens at halfback. Major Ogilvie is the other halfback, and Steve Whitman is the fullback, and they're all from Birmingham. And Bruce Bolton will open at wide receiver. He's a senior from Memphis. Whitman in motion, the pitch to Nathan, a sweep to the left side. The Penn State defense flowing with it from the 20. They bring him down up around the 24. The offensive front, the big guys for Alabama's offense, they break down this way. Buddy Adelette, number 78, is a tackle. Mike Brock, 235. Dwight Stevenson, one of the best centers in the country. Vince Booth. Jim Bunch out of Mechanicsville, Virginia. And Rick Neal is the tight end. It is second down and 6 yards to go for Alabama. The ball is given inside to Nathan, and Nathan is up to the 27. We have a Big 8 officiating crew here working this ball game. The defensive setup for Penn State. Those are the officials: Bill Jennings, the chief, the referee, Cliff Squires, Frank Ellis, John McClintock, Dan Upson, and Ed Shannon. From the 27, it is third down and 3. Rutledge gives inside to his fullback, Whitman. And Whitman banging away, trying to reach the 30, and it appears that he may well have gotten his first down. The Penn State defensive people up front, it's Larry Kubin, Bruce Clark, Tony Petruccio, Matt Millen, and Joe Lally. The linebackers for Penn State, Paul Suey, Lance Mail, and Rich Malott. And the defensive secondary, Mike Gilson, Carl McCoy, and Pete Harris. Pete Harris, top interceptor in the country, had a great season. The ball is just beyond the 30, where it is first down now for Alabama. And Frank Broyles, they were able to get movement that time up the middle from their fullback. Tony Nathan is out of the lineup, dragging his leg. Whitman carries over the left side, and Jeff Rutledge, the Alabama quarterback, took a pretty good lick after he had handed the ball away. The gain is 1 yard. They're icing down the hip of Tony Nathan, as you see there, so we'll check it. He may have a bruise. He could have a hip corner. Whatever, he's out of the lineup. Eichner in motion. Rutledge rolling for the first pass. Bruce Clark throws him down, and Rutledge unloads it. And there's the big guy we were talking about. At the 31-yard line, as you see, the big guy just roaring through, and it's a virtual impossibility, and we've got a little trouble with Frank Broyles' microphone here right now, but it's virtually impossible to block him one-on-one. Bolton comes out of the lineup for Alabama. The wide receiver now is Keith Pugh, number 4. It is third down and 9 from the 31. Rutledge, with an obvious passing down, gets good protection, throws it to Eichner. Eichner comes across the 37, but he is cut down there, unable to reach the first down marker at the 40-yard line. So good defensive flow by Penn State. And now Alabama will come up with the first punt.
I believe that Rutledge got a good taste of what the pass rush that Penn State has had all year long. It's devastating.
Mike Gooman and Matt Suey, double deep. to receive the punt of Woody Humphrey. The left-footed kicker bangs off beauty. Truman over, calls fair catch. Humphrey knocks it out of bounds, or no, it kicked back inbounds and continues to roll downfield to the 12-yard line. First down for Penn State, their first possession. Mike Truman out of the tailback position. Penalty flag thrown by the referee behind the Penn State backfield as Truman cuts it up to the 20-yard line.
Keith, Penn State came out in an unbalanced line the first play of the ball game to try to upset Alabama's defense. The play was successful, but holding by the offense.
We told you this is a neutral group of officials. They're all from the Big 8 Conference. The Penn State offensive backfield, let's take a look at them while Alabama discusses the penalty call against the Nittany Lions. Chuck Fusina is the quarterback. Booker Moore will share tailback with Mike Gooman, Matt Suey, the fullback, and Bob Bassett, a flanker. Scott Fitzke, the wide receiver, or split end, and the punter. They'll march him off half the distance, putting the ball back very close to the 6-yard line, where it'll be first down and 15 for the Nittany Lions. Handoff goes to Gooman. He comes up over the top to the 9. Where he is grabbed and dragged down by Ricky Gillilam, 92, defensive linebacker, the Penn State offensive front. Herb Pankey is a tight end, converted from tackle. Keith Dorney is the big guy up front. Eric Cunningham. Chuck Corral is the center for Penn State. Jim Romano, a very good sophomore guard. Jim Brown, a very good sophomore tackle. Second down and about 13. The ball goes to Matt Suey to the sideline. Hard to bend Suey back, but that time Alabama got enough of him to hold him right at the 15-yard line. Coming across Marty Lyons and Wayne Hamilton to make the tackle. Hamilton and De Niro are the ends. They're both playing less than full. Marty Lyons and Byron Braggs the tackles, and Warren Lyles, a freshman, is the middle guard. The linebackers are Barry Krause and Ricky Gilliland. The defensive secondary for Alabama, McNeil, Crumley, Legg, and Harris. Jim Bob Harris is a freshman, replacing Ricky Tucker, who is out with injury. Chuck Fusina on an option, chooses to pull it down, gets it out to the 20, fumbles the football. Alabama's defensive flow, fierce. Penn State does retain possession.
Keith, on a passing down, Alabama went to double coverage. Here's the rollout pass. They had one receiver deep, one short, both covered. Fusino had to turn up the field, run the football. The ball was knocked loose, but they did recover.
McGriff knocked it loose. Gooman recovered it. And Ogilvy's back to receive the punt from Scott Fitzke. Gets it away. And Major calls fair catch for Alabama up at the 44-yard line. So the Crimson Tide will have good field position for their second offensive possession of the ball game. Just beyond the 41 of Alabama, first down for the Tide. Fullback Whitman is in motion. That is Nathan to the outside. Matt Millen is after him. He outruns him. And he breaks it big. Alabama is running against Penn State. That play goes all the way to the 42. Good for 16 yards.
Keith, that was the quick flip, the quick pitch to Nathan. Watch it right here, but you'll see the key is Whitman's block. And the key also being Nathan's faking inside, setting up his block right there by Whitman. Freeze him into the secondary and watch him lower that shoulder like a good back. Sure, that's outstanding football player, Tony Nathan, who averaged 6.9 all his career at Alabama.
Nathan now has gained 31 yards on 4 carries. It is Alabama's ball, first down at the Penn State 42 with 1:34 to go in the first quarter. No score. Maybe a check off and an audible here as Rutledge took a long time. Gave it to his fullback, and Whitman takes it to the 38-yard line of Penn State. Most of the football game has been played on Penn State's end of the field.
The reason is that Penn State cannot make a first down while they're deep on their end of the field, and when you punt the football, then Alabama has very good field position. Penn State jumped into a 5-3 on that occasion right now, and that was the first time they've used it. And here's Notre Dame leading Houston 6-0 in the first quarter. Second down, 6 from the
38. Rutledge got it. Turns back inside. Fred Ragucci, number 83, defensive end.
Keith, what happened on that play is most interesting. I'd like to point out they were in a 5-3 the play before. They hit the handoff. This time they showed them the 5-3, moved over into an overshift, and Matt Millen came flying through and disrupted everything in the backfield. Good defensive call.
Ball is back at the 42. 3rd down and 10. Rutledge stumbling coming off the snap. And right there is number 60, Matt Millen, to pounce on him. The loss is back to the 45. And Alabama will punt again. Almost lost it.
Yeah, he's lucky to fall back on the ball in a situation like that.
And so the first quarter is history in this 1979 Sugar Bowl game, and there is no score between Alabama and Penn State. We begin the second quarter of play in the game here in the Sugar Bowl between top-ranked Penn State, number 2 ranked Alabama. Woody Humphrey is in to kick for Alabama on 4th down. Shoots it for the corner. Gets it this time. Beautiful kick. Inside the 4. 41-yard punt. And here are the numbers off the first quarter, and look at the yards rushing for Alabama.
81 yards, which is considerably more than any team made last year. The average last year, 55 yards. Time of possession, 10 minutes for Alabama, and 36 seconds, only 4 for Penn State. They've got to make some first downs, and they're down, backed up where it's absolutely necessary.
Very careful down here. Throw it. And the gain is beyond the 15 by Matt Suey, a 211-pound junior from State College. And Mr. Bryant, thoughtful.
His team has had the best of it so far. They were ready to play. They've got good field position. They've been able, with their defense and kicking, to maintain field position and keep Penn State backed up. That's the mark of a good football team.
Joe Paterno has sent Bob Torrey in at fullback, replacing Suey. That's the tandem now of Booker Moore, the tailback, and Torrey, the fullback. On 3rd down and 5 from the 17. Alabama expecting pass. Leg drops back into a deep position defensively. The pressure is on. Crosses after him. Hamilton got him. Wayne Hamilton, number 94, and Curtis McGriff, number 96. The linebacker Krause blitzed and forced him to his right, and he ran right into Hamilton.
The strategy, Keith, was that they showed the safety blitz. You've seen an audible to a pass. They changed and went back and double covered and put on a blitz. They knew he was going to throw the ball. They put on a blitz and got him for a big loss.
14-yard loss. And standing right at the very back of the end zone is Fitzke at the front. Ogilvie to receive for Alabama. Once again, the Tide figures to get very good field position. Pressure on, gets it away. Ogilvie fields it. It'll be Alabama first down at the Penn State 41 with 9:09 to go in the second quarter. And Alabama continues to play on Penn State's end of the football field. Just inside the Penn State 38. Rutledge on the option. Wants to throw the screen. Gets it away to Whitman. Whitman with 3 blockers in front of him goes for a first down. And Jeff Rutledge was just planted over there by Matt Millen. But it was Mike Brock and Buddy Adelette out in front of the Alabama fullback, and it's a big play to the 22.
One thing that will discourage a big rush is a screen pass and have success on it, and a screen back away from the flow is very difficult to defend against. Outstanding execution by one Rutledge.
See Neal throw the first block, then Adelette, and then Brock. And it's first down at the Penn State 22-yard line. No score, 3:20 to go. First half. Play goes into the middle. Steve Whitman, the fullback, carries. And he's inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. He got just about 4 yards on that carry. We'll call it 3. And you see now time winding down. But Alabama's getting closer and closer. And most of this first half has been played on the Penn State end of the field. Second down, 7. Rutledge to throw it, looking for Pugh. Gets his pass off. It is intercepted. Intercepted by Rich Malott. He may go. Only Ogilvy could bring him down. Only the foot speed of Major Ogilvy stopped Rich Malott from going all the way. And suddenly, for the first time in the ball game, Penn State is deep in Alabama territory. Watch 54 here.
Now they've got 2 men on Clark. They've got Bunch and Clark. But here's Clark, forces the throw, and I know that Rutledge wishes he had it back. Now let's look at it again. Think of the option play. Here's Clark making him move to the left and throw off balance. Whitman deflected the ball, and Malott makes an outstanding run coming back in deep in Alabama territory.
A 55-yard return with the interception. First down Penn State at the Alabama 37-yard line. And don't forget Matt Barr. Fusina hands it to Suey. And Matt Suey is hit head-on by linebacker Barry Crouch. There's Malott, who made the interception.
That was a great play on Malott's part.
37-yard line, second down and 10, no gain on the carry by Suey. Penn State has not been able to run on Alabama so far. Penn State defense has been the story. You see the straight back, looks for Fitzke, goes deep for Fitzke. In the end zone, it is incomplete. And with him all the way was Don McNeil, number 28.
Here we see Fitzke running the fly pattern, but Don McNeil, number 28, gives him plenty of cushion, runs right with him, plays the ball. What you want a defensive back to do is wait to the last instant and be sure you jump while the ball's at its height, and that's exactly what he does, and he knocks it away.
It is third down and 10 Penn State from the Alabama 37. Tom Donovan is in at the flanker. In motion. Fusina to throw. Braggs got him and took him right out of field goal range. Marlon Braggs made the sack. Big sophomore from Montgomery. Lost 15 yards. And so Penn State is jerked right out of field goal range. And here's the punt. Fitzke hitting a knuckleball. And it goes into the end zone. They don't cover it. They're trying to go down, and they went into a quick formation, kicked the ball before Alabama had lined up to return it. Tried to knuckleball it down there, but it took a bounce on the carpet and went in. It'll be Alabama first down at the 20. You can see from those numbers that Alabama's point of possession has been much more advantageous than those of Penn State in this ball game. Alabama gaining 84 yards on the ground. Penn State is -7 on the ground. Chuck Fusina's been sacked 3 times for 50 yards. Rutledge turns and hands the ball off. They keep it inside to the 21-22. Major Ogilvy carrying. The clock now showing just about a minute to play in the first half. Here was Penn State sitting down on the 37-yard line with a field goal opportunity, as you see time called to the lines to kill the clock. And suddenly the big sack of Fusina by Braggs took him right out of field goal opportunity.
Going back to that lost pass attempt by Fusina, I know that he wishes he had gone and thrown the ball away when his receivers were covered rather than try to scramble and make something big, because he was in field goal range, and they had probably the greatest kicker in America. Could have had a 3-point advantage.
I'll tell you one thing about those lights we were looking at too, Frank. Under punts, it's certain positions on that field, it's hard to see it. You really have to be careful. You don't lose track of it. It's second down and 7. Rutledge swings it out to Nathan. He's got 2 blockers. He's knocked down at the 28-yard line. Matt Millen coming across, number 60. The big 256-pounder from Hokendakwa, Pennsylvania. And another timeout by Penn State with 49 seconds to play in the first half.
They moved Nathan out to flanker back for that particular play. The screen, he was lined up as, wide receiver, and the screen to him, hoping that he could make a run after he caught the football.
scoreboard shows 2 timeouts remaining for Penn State, but I don't believe that's correct. They have 1 remaining. No score. 49 seconds to play. 3rd down and 2. Whitman gets the first down for Alabama as he rides it over the right side to the 33. And the clock stopped one more time at 44 seconds to go in the first half. Now let's see if Penn State spends their last timeout. Clock stops while the chains are moved in college football.
I think.
Wind up the clock. It is rolling. And here's Jim Lampley.
Keith, I just talked to Stedman Shealy, the reserve Alabama quarterback, a couple of minutes ago. They're having a big problem with Bruce Clark, and they're going to start to double team him all the time.
Hand off to Nathan. Big play by Tony Nathan. All the way to the Penn State 37-yard line. The block that broke him loose came from 1 Dwight Stevenson, 2 Vince Booth.
Oh, that was electrifying. Let's see it. Little cross fake there in the backfield. But in seeing this run, you'll watch that Nathan is wise enough to break out and pick up the block of number 32. Bruce Bolton, his wide receiver, has a chance to go all the way with that block right there. But he gets caught from behind by number 92.
Rick Donaldson.
Yeah, Rick Donaldson.
Nathan now 30 yards on that run, 4 carries, 53 yards, 21 ticks remaining on the first half clock. Last night in the Blue Bonnet Bowl, they had a wild one. Stanford beating Georgia 25-22. Here's the pitch to Nathan. He cuts it back into the middle. He goes to the 30-yard line, and Alabama calls timeout. With 15 seconds to play in the first half. Alabama has 1 timeout remaining. Penn State has 1 timeout remaining. It is 2nd down and 4. 15 seconds to play. Alabama with 1 timeout remaining. Rutledge on a roll. Looks down the middle, and it is caught. Touchdown, Bolton. Number 32, Bruce Bolton, going into the end zone, making a diving grab of a bullet from his quarterback, Jeff Rutledge. Kevin Jones to hold McElroy for the extra point try. The first score of the game comes with 8 seconds to play in the first half. The extra point is good. Score, Alabama 7, Penn State nothing. Jim Lampley is with Bear Bryant.
Coach, you just made a very big decision that produced a 30-yard touchdown pass. What was your reasoning on 2nd down with 15 seconds left in the half?
Well, we were going to try 2 passes and then go for the field goal. And we still had a timeout left. We could always stop the clock, but he was going to throw the ball away. If his man was covered, he had to be wide open.
You've been saving that play. Did you think it would work?
Oh, we ran once before, and he got trapped back there. But we haven't established any ground game. Their line is equipping our line to go
in the middle.
Line. Yeah, we got to do something about that. Our defense is doing great.
Okay, good luck. Thanks for visiting with us. Coach Bear Bryant, who just made the big decision that produced the touchdown, the 30-yard pass from Rutledge to Bolton. We'll be back with halftime festivities from the Sugar Bowl right after this. The halftime show here at the Sugar Bowl has run a little bit long on the field, and both coaches have brought their teams onto the field a good 4 or 5 minutes ago. Consequently, the players have been standing around, and as I stand here with Coach Joe Paterno of Penn State, I can tell he's not particularly happy about it. Nor I would assume about your offense in the first half, which looked confused.
I think our defense played well enough if we had any kind of offense, but our problem is they have a couple of new blitzes in there we didn't pick up and got us a little disorganized. Hopefully, we're going to be a little bit more consistent the second half.
You're going to play more aggressively on defense to try to force some mistakes?
I think we're in good shape. We can get some offense going, Jim.
Okay, good luck, Coach.
Okay.
All right, I'm with
Jim.
Todd if you need him.
Thank you very much. Richard Todd is among those down on the sidelines, and we may very well have an opportunity to talk to him. The last time Alabama and Penn State played here in the Sugar Bowl, Richard Todd was the big man as he led Alabama to a 13-6 victory. So here we go with the second half of play, and one of the questions, Frank Broyles, I have for you, do you think that Alabama may gamble a little bit and try to go one-on-one with Millen and double up on Bruce Clark?
Absolutely. I think they're going to have to. I talked to Bo Ryan of North Carolina State about Clark and Millen, and he said if you don't double-team Clark, he'll give you fits all day long. And that's what's happened. I believe Alabama will make that tactical change, and I think Joe Paterno has got to dislodge from his players' minds the disappointments and the frustrations of the offense where they can have some enthusiasm in this half.
Alan McElroy will kick off for Alabama, and Penn State's Donovan, Suey, and Coles are deep. He hits it high. Donovan drifts back to the goal line to take it. He's in the end zone, and he'll bring it out to the 20, where Penn State will have the ball 1st and 10. The offensive back wheel will go with Fusina, Gooman, Suey, Bassett at the flanker spot. And it'll be Fitzke, Dorney, Cunningham, Corral, Romano, Brown, and Pankey up front. Penn State wearing the white shirts, trailing by a score of 7-0. They were -7 rushing in the first half, and the passing wasn't anything to write home about either.
The reason was the safety blitz and the linebacker blitzes confused them and knocked Casino out of his pass pattern.
Penn State offense has just been stalled. Fusina shoots it, passes, intercepted. Brought back by Jim Bob Harris, and here's Alabama knocking on the door. The freshman from Athens, Georgia. There's a penalty flag on the field, maybe against Alabama. Personal foul, clipping Alabama. So instead of having the ball down at the Penn State 14, they'll be back up around the 19. A 22-yard return by Jim Bob Harris.
On that interception, Fusino faked to the tailback, and Fitzke is open in the middle, but Fusino has to have lost some of his confidence. He ordinarily would hit him right there, overthrows it. Harris right on the numbers, and the young freshman from Athens, Georgia, a quarterback who led his team to the state championship in Georgia, 14-0 season, makes a fine run, but the clip moves them back. Let's see if we can see the clip.
Yeah, I think so, right back there behind him. Well, whatever, it's all... He was open. Chuck just missed him.
Just missed him. That's what happens when you lose a little bit of confidence.
Ball is back at the 34-yard line from the point of the foul, 15 yards, and Alabama still in good field position as they give it to Nathan, and he is still behind the line of scrimmage by Matt Miller. I sort of wondered if Alabama decided to double up on Clark and go one-on-one with Millen, if it might not make Matt a little madder, and he might play with a little more intensity. That time he certainly did.
He just whipped the blocker and was right there at the line of scrimmage, and when the ball carrier got there, he released from the blocker and made the tackle.
11:55 to go in the third quarter, and Alabama sitting on a 7-0 lead over number 1 ranked Penn State. Second man Nathan gets the ball into the right side to the 25-yard line. He's got to go just inside the 24 for the first down, so he'll have third and very short.
Again, Bruce Clark was in the backfield and redirected Nathan outside. He would like to run over the tackle, but he had to change his course and lost his momentum.
You can see that Nathan has gained 84 yards more than the Penn State running game.
That's incredible, Keith. It's just nearly unbelievable.
Third and a yard. Whitman, the fullback, and he just roars down behind Vince Booth, Jim Bunch, and Dwight Stevenson for the first down. He's like a fallen tree when he gets going.
They moved an unbalanced line, which moved Clark a man wider, where they could run the handoff for the fullback over the tackle, but Clark was out over the end because of the unbalanced line.
Well-prepared football team. Nathan, limping some, comes off the field, and Eichner goes in at the halfback position for Alabama. First down just beyond the 21-yard line of Penn State. Whitman, the fullback, comes up over the left side this time, and he reaches the 19, running in behind Adelet and Brock that time, or Adelet in particular. Nathan absorbing a wicked blow on the hip very early in the ball game. He had ice and massage and so forth. Has played very, very well, running for 82 yards, and he produced the big 30-yard run. It really set up Alabama's touchdown late in the first half.
That was the key run.
It's second down from the 19-yard line and 8. Rutledge in trouble, and he gets supplanted by a blitzing Rich Malott from the linebacker position. Malott just nailed it.
Here he comes. Watch number 28. The hole opens up beautifully for him, and he's able to hit Rutledge in the backfield. Right there, 28 on 11. And that was a key play. It made it 3rd and 10.
3rd down and 10. And let's see what the Bear has suggested to his quarterback. Bolton to the left. Rutledge swings it out short to Eichner. Missed by 1. Now he goes down. Actually lost on the play back to around the 24-yard line. Great pursuit that time by Penn State.
Long yardage situation. Penn State had loosened up their defense, and they were ready for a screen of some kind, and they played it beautifully.
McElroy comes onto the field with his kicking tee and puts it down at the 30-yard line, so it'll be a 40-yard field goal try by McElroy, trying to make it a 10-0 ball game. He's 1 for 1 at this distance. Longest this year was a 41-yarder. A hole by Jones. Got enough leg. Missed it. Oh, he missed it. Off to the right. Didn't get any hook in it at all. 9:06 to go, 3rd quarter, and it's still a 7-0 ball game. All right, Billy Jackson is in there at the fullback position along with Nathan. And Jackson carries a 196-pound sophomore from Phoenix City. Got a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9 at the 30 for Alabama. Got about a yard and a half on the carry with 6:17 to go in the 3rd quarter. Alabama 7, Penn State nothing. Tough physical football game. Rutledge outside to Major Ogilvy, and bingo. Penalty flag is down as Joe Lally came across to make the defensive play from his defensive end position.
I get motion on the red club, decline, down is 3rd.
The interesting call here, Keith, is whether they'll put the ball in the air or try to run a safe play like a draw on option.
The way Humphrey's been punting, he's becoming a bigger weapon all the time. Oh, they're going to put it up. Intercepted by Pete Harris, who led the country in interceptions this year, his 2nd. Marvelous effort by Harris. That's Franco Harris's younger brother.
Keith, that is what defensive coaches say is a sensational play, because Clark is open momentarily, but while the ball is in the air, watch Harris come right in front. Look at the ground he covers while the ball is in the air. That's why he intercepted 10 passes this year to lead the nation. Here's another run of it. It's out pattern. Clark, number 80, he's open momentarily. Sensational play right in his hands.
That's the live action. That's Bob Torrey at fullback, carries the ball right up the middle. It was 1st down, Penn State at the Alabama 48-yard line. Now on the carry by Torrey, the ball is advanced to a 43 with a better part of 5 yards. Call it 2nd down and a little more than 5. And Donovan is wide to the left side, and he is really quick. But they come back to the tight side. Booker Moore carries and goes nowhere. In fact, Booker lost a yard. I don't know who put the defensive plan together for Alabama, but whoever did it borders on pure genius.
I agree with you. I talked to their defensive coaches, Keith. They said they took the last game that Penn State played, charted it, and went back each play until each game until the first game, and by then they knew exactly what they wanted.
Of course, it does help to have people like Marty Lyons, number 93.
Just an All-American, 112 tackles for a defensive lineman. That's sensational.
Ball is at the 44, 3rd down and 6. Fusina wants to throw, goes to Gooman. And Mike Gooman, who consistently figures in big plays for Penn State, takes the football inside the 20, a 24-yard gain. 1st down, Penn State. And the first real threat of the ball game by the Lions.
It's a double wing formation, and Goodman was lined up at the wing back. He's wide open because the defensive end rushed. No one there to make the play until McNeil, number 28, and Harris finally get to Goodman.
Just inside the 20, first down Lions. Ball given to Goodman. Goodman dives. They'll give him to about the 17, better part of 3, second down and 7 coming up.
Interception pass by Harris, setting up this golden opportunity by Penn State. Turns the momentum around.
Joe Paterno shuffling his tailbacks as Goodman leaves and Moore comes in, number 48. And we're reaching the stage of this ball game, I think, where you get to deal with one of those things that coaches love to talk about. It's that old bottom line thing called character. From the 17, Fusina to throw it. Throws into the end zone. Touchdown. Butchke had 1 foot in the end zone as he caught the ball. Extra point to tie the game. Drills it. At 4:25 to go in the third quarter, we're even at 7. Here's the touchdown.
Butchke was lined up at tight end, even though he's the wide receiver, so that he'd have the speed to get into the middle on a 2-deep defense. Watch the sensational catch. Watch the foot come down right there inside. One is all you need in college football. A sensational play by Scott Butchke, but also a great throw deep by Fusina and laid it up and let it drop down in the open area.
That's using all of the field, isn't it?
Left foot hits inside the end zone line.
So we're tied at 7 here in quarter 3. There's the man that made the play, wide receiver Scott Butchke, the blue and white, roaring. And here's the kickoff as Matt Barr hangs it a mile high, drives Ogilvy into the end zone, and Major will stay there. And Alabama will have it first down at the 20, and here's a different angle look at the touchdown.
Fusina is dropping back, looking outside, but Butchke had lined up at tight end. His looking to the left drew the safety man Harris over. He was caught out of position, but watch this sensational catch. His left foot comes in the end zone. Legal touchdown in college. 1 foot is all that's required.
So that point is well documented, lest Alabama faithful would doubt the veracity or the completion of the play, but it was for a fact good by about 2 feet. And the play over the right side as Alabama running from the 20-yard line, Whitman carrying, and here's one more look at a spectacular touchdown play for the Lions.
Give Joe Paterno credit for the strategy of lining up Butchke tight end, where he gets a little bit lost going down the middle as you cannot see a safety man. Where did he go? Where is the safety man? He was fooled on the play, as you can see right there. Ricky Tucker, the starting safety man, was injured.
Looked to me like because he was lined up at tight end, a linebacker had the assignment to cover him and couldn't do it. Ricky Gilliland just couldn't stay with him. Here's Rutledge. Double up on Bruce Clark, and suddenly here comes Matthew.
Didn't I say the Lord's on the side of the team, the 2 best tackles? Look at the isolation right here. He slants inside, comes back up the field, squares up his shoulders, and makes the play on Rutledge.
Great piece of camera work. Our director, Andrew Sedaris, guys who've worked with us all through the season. Ball is back at the 17-yard line, and the Penn State defense is just raging right now. Millen again, number 60.
Boy, is he fired up. There's a penalty gave, but I believe that Alabama was not legally set 1 second. But in any event, Millen shows what we talked about. He can get cranked up, too.
Running time for Humphrey with Suey and Gooman deep. There's the time remaining, third quarter. A lot of time left. 7-7 ball game. Number 1 Penn State, number 2 Alabama, the 45th Sugar Bowl game. Humphrey, another beauty. Oh, has he had a day punting. Suey backs up at the 30. 32. It was a 51-yard punt. Booker Moore and Bob Torrey are the setbacks now behind Chuck Bucina. Chuck rolls out, gets in the clear, and then misses Fitzke on that roll play. Now, this, frankly, is a play that I'm surprised we haven't seen more of, because it is on that side of the defensive alignment where Alabama has been hurt by injuries, with E.J. Jr., John Morrow, and Ricky Tucker all would be playing.
That's the first time, Keith, they put two receivers to that side, as you mentioned, and they had one of them open.
Mike Clements, number 43, has had to move in there and work there, so I'm sure that Bucina's got his eye on him. But in the meantime, he hands to his fullback, and Bob Torrey just disappears underneath big old Curtis McGriff. Curtis is 257 pounds from the fine little town of Cottonwood, Alabama.
Keith, the Alabama defense has been sensational, just all the game.
Third down now, and they need a little more than 7 yards to keep possession of the ball. The score is tied at 7-7. Both touchdowns were purely spectacular. Let's pass it wide to the top of your picture, out of the picture, and Bucina's looking at it. He's gone. Legg got him. Murray Legg, blitzing safety coming from the blind side, and he gets Bucina. It is that kind of a play where your quarterback can really get clobbered, but Legg didn't really get a solid hit. That's the 4th sack, and Alabama's defense now has nailed the Penn State quarterback for 60 yards and losses.
There's Legg, number 19, coming from the right side of your screen on a safety blitz, unblocked.
And Fitzke to punch. Pretty good kick. Going to run Lou Eichner well back to the 27. Look at here. Of Penn State, Pat Bradley, a tremendous return and great downfield blocking by the Alabama football team. Watch this blocking form, and then watch Eichner use it.
That's one of the prettiest plays in football. He gets to the wall, watch him pick up the blockers on the right, set up his block right here, cutting back inside, picking up blockers. Alabama red shirts makes another man miss him. Finally, Bradley, number 63, brings him down.
62-yard return of the punt. Byron Braggs, that big tackle, was downfield and really made a big block. So Lou Eichner takes a breather, and it's first down Alabama at the Penn State 11-yard line. Big play. Rutledge keeping and turns it right into a stack at the 15-yard line. Kind of an interesting little piece of side action going over there on the sidelines, where Neal, the tight end, had cut down Gilson, the defensive back, and it could well be that if Jeff had gone that way, he'd have had some room. Well, they mark it back outside the 15 at the 16. Second down is still about 15. That's Mayfield. And on the old student body right, he's inside the 10 to about the 9. And running behind solid blocking is Major Ogilvie, and Steve Whitman really threw a couple of cut-down blocks for him. Time winding down now with less than a minute to play in the third quarter.
That was a good call right there, Keith. They had no luck with a wishbone where they're getting penetration. They just turn and pitch the ball, get outside of those crashing linemen, and make a big play.
Ball is very near the 8-yard line. Rick Neal and Tim Travis, pair of tight ends in there on third down and 7. Rutledge just missed by Millen behind the line of scrimmage. It's Ogilvie. Touchdown. Major Ogilvie takes it in from the 8-yard line, and Alabama is back on top. I think it's fair to say Alabama's poise has been restored, keyed by that 62-yard punt return by Lou Eichner. And here's Alan McElroy for the extra point try. It is good. No flags and will stand. 21 seconds to go in the third quarter, and Alabama regains the lead 14-7.
Dave, here's the touchdown. Watch Millen on the left of your screen and see if he doesn't nearly comes close to tackling Rutledge before he gets started, but the key block is made by Neal, number 8, down the field right here. You'll see him in the corner of your screen, right up here, make the block and keep Gilston back in the secondary, allowing Ogilvie to go in for the touchdown.
Boy, he is a hard-running sophomore, too.
He is determined to get into that end zone line.
So McElroy will now kick it off, and Penn State will send Donovan in the center as the deepest man. Joel Coles, a freshman out of Pittsburgh, who's very swift, is also back there, along with Matt Suey. The short man is Bob Torrey, the fullback. Donovan's the man they want to get the ball. Way back in the end zone. I don't think he'll come, no. Penn State first down at the 20-yard line as whistles stop. Matt Suey and Booker Moore are lined up behind Chuck Lucina. Moore with the ball. He cannot get outside as E.J. Jr. in the ball game. He's not going to play a whole lot, I don't think, because he's really banged up. Very sore groin pull, but he made that play all right. And time winding down after 3 quarters of play in the Sugar Bowl. Alabama 14, Penn State 7. Changing fortunes of this game. It is now Alabama that is the happy side, as Penn State is looking at second down and 11 from their 19-yard line on the first play of the final quarter. Alabama is leading by a score of 14-7. They reverse it to Donovan, the flanker. Donovan gets back to the line of scrimmage where Marty Lyons and Byron Braggs are there to greet him. Now let's go back to that beautiful blocked run by Lou Eichner, a 62-yard punt return that set up the go-ahead touchdown for the Tigers.
When you get over to the boundary and pick up your blockers, that was Braggs, number 47. 50 is Scott, a good fine linebacker. He cuts back inside. You get the defense trying to cut you off, and when you cut back, you have a chance to get free. Finally, the tackle is made by Bradley.
And it's Booker Moore diving for the first down out beyond the 40 to the 41 where Rich Wingo. And Rich is a well-known linebacker for Alabama, but he got kneed in the back, and he's had spasms and nerve troubles with it for half the season. But he's in there right now. Barry Krause comes out. And, Vandy Scott comes out, and Barry Krause goes in at linebacker now.
Krause is the emotional leader, Keith. Fires up the defense.
41-yard line, first down line. 14-7 Alabama, 11:35 to play in the ball game. Booker Moore runs it up the middle, and they're finding a little more daylight here all of a sudden in the middle of the Alabama defense as he comes up near the 46-yard line.
The best way to help your pass protection, Keith, is to establish some running game, and that's what Penn State seems to be doing right here, running up the middle as much as possible to slow down that rush.
Lions came in with a 19-game winning streak. There have been many memorable winning streaks stopped in postseason play. One of the longer ones, Oklahoma's 31-game streak by Kentucky in the Sugar Bowl in 1951. Lucina gives to Moore. Look at that defensive play by E.J. Jr., number 39. Wow. He's on his tummy, and he reached up and knocked him down.
Moore, that was a great play by Junior, but Moore should have seen that. He had the ball deep in the backfield, and she cut away from it, go back up inside. He chose to go outside, and Junior made a sensational play. Let's watch it again. Number 32 on the right of your screen. Suey throwing the block on Junior. Has him blocked, but Moore tries to go outside when he had some soft daylight inside.
It's third down and 8. Lucina's pass to the sidelines, complete to Gooman, and he's beyond the marker for a first down. So the Lions stay alive with a first down at the Alabama 47-yard line.
That was the same pass pattern they threw to Gooman over on the corner to set up their touchdown. Fake, and with a double wing right there, Gooman goes right in behind the trailing split in. He's open momentarily. Lucina's right on target.
Jim Bob Harris making the tackle. If he had overrun him just a little bit, he'd had quite a bit of room down that sideline. First down Lions, Alabama 47. Deep drop over the middle, complete. The pass is caught by Brad Scoble, number 80. Brad Scoble, who made a couple of big plays in Penn State's victory over Ohio State early in the season.
Chief, I've been wondering when they were going to their tight ends, firing the linebackers, rushing them. The tight end is usually open in the middle. That time he was for a big play. They're on the move right now.
29-yard line of Alabama. First down, Penn State. Booker Moore. Well, there isn't anything over there. E.J. Jr., that defensive end, had put himself in exactly the right place, and he was just waiting. He accepted Booker Moore with a howdy.
E.J. Jr.'s had a full hamstring, hadn't been able to practice for 2 or 3 days, and that's the reason he hadn't played too much in this ball game. But he's made 2 sensational plays.
Warren Lyles, the Alabama nose guard, who started, also has a little hamstring trouble. That loss is back to the 34-yard line. It's second down and 16. Fusina on a deep drop, going to the corner. Bassett's over there. It is incomplete. No, intercepted by McNeil. And Alabama will bring it out to the 20. Double coverage. Jim Bob Harris and Don McNeil going down, and they slam the door.
Here it is again. You can see Bassett going on the fly pattern, but I hope the camera will show how wide open Fitzke is down the middle. But here is McNeil, number 28, and Harris, the safety, both over on the play. First, Harris has his hands on it, but then McNeil comes down with it.
That is the 3rd interception of Chuck Fusina in the ball game. 9:18 to play in the ball game. Alabama leading 14-7. And it's first down, Bama at the 20. Rutledge. Penn State's got it. Penn State's got it at the 19-yard line. Joe Lally, number 84. Ball was loose on the ground. It was a very bad pitch by Rutledge as he was under pressure and couldn't get it to his back.
Let's watch again on this play. It's the high formation option, triple option. Watch Rutledge. Should he pitch the ball? He pitched it before he got to the defensive end. And, of course, Lally is right there, 84. Suey, number 65, recover big play.
First down at the Alabama 19-yard line. Matt Suey runs it up the middle. Tears his way inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. What a turnaround in the ball game. Alabama leading 14-7. Turned the ball over to Penn State. And Suey on the first play over the right side behind Brown. Romano goes hammering inside the 10 and looks like he's got it first and goal.
Look at the blockings. A little trap play right there. Double team in the nose man. Suey had a nice opening. Big play. Good game.
First and goal to go from the 8 of Alabama. Double wide to the left for Penn State. Ball is pitched to Kuman. Kuman turns it back up in the middle and gets to the 6-yard line. As the Alabama defense was moving quickly to the play. And Marty Lyons, 93, and Ricky Gilliland, 92.
Chief, if they do score, Penn State cannot afford a high format tie, so will they go for 2?
Gilliland dragging an arm, coming out. Going in to replace him, number 36, Rich Wingo. Time there. What a turnover that was. Alabama's had only 1 first down in this half, so the Penn State defense continues to play very, very well. The offense started to come alive. Second down and goal to go from the 6. Fusina on a roll to the right. Puts it up. It is good. Fitzke. And he is knocked out of bounds at the 1-yard line. And I want to tell you something, folks. There was one whale of a defensive play by Alabama's Don McNeil because Fitzke has momentum and McNeil just won't let him come in.
Number 46, Fitzke is playing right out. Watch Neal, who is playing the deep man, come up and make the play. He's not even covering Fitzke. Number 28 makes a sensational play to prevent the touchdown.
So it is third and goal to go at the 1-yard line. Crowd roaring. Referee Bill Jennings doesn't even wait for Fusina to step away. He can hear the crowd too, and he just stops it right there because he's entitled to have his team hear him call the count. 6:57 to go in the ball game, and Penn State trying to tie the score right here. If we get down, Frank, into the late moments and Penn State has any kind of field position at all, Matt Barr becomes such an important factor.
So they may just kick it tied up right here.
Suey and Gooman. Suey died. He didn't make it. He got about a half of it. Krause and McGriff, primarily the people. Could be the ball of wax right here. 4th and goal, time for Penn State. Will be very deliberate about the circumstances. They may not have another opportunity quite like this. 6 minutes and 44 seconds to play in this big ball game. The yard marker in the Sugar Bowl shows a half a yard to go for the touchdown and the possibility of tying or going ahead for Penn State. 19-game win streak, only undefeated team in the country, ranked #1 in the nation. Alabama ranked #2. Everything could be hanging on 4th and goal with a half a yard. Gooman. He didn't make it. Tremendous goal line effort by Alabama. Turns Penn State away from a half a yard. An Alabama man is down on the field. I can't be definite that it looks like it might be Barry Krause. I think he just kind of got caught in the crush underneath. It could have been him who came over the top to freeze the lunge of Gooman, because Mike was trying to go over the top. Wingo and Krause and Hamilton and Lyons all sort of stood up.
But what happens on the goal line defense, the linemen are penetrating, the linebackers won't stop it. Let's see it right here. The linebacker Krause, number 77, has got to make the tackle on the back, diving across the goal line. Sensational play, and maybe prevented Penn State from winning the national championship.
Krause ran off the field. So he went head on with Gooman and took a solid shot, but he got the job done. That's what he'll remember as the years go by. Alabama out of the end zone. And the play moves out to about the 5. Before the running back, Tony Nathan, is brought down. And there's Barry Krause now, who's collecting his wits after that hit. Still a little groggy, looks like.
Keith, I don't know that I can remember a more dramatic situation than we had. 2 downs to make a foot. Kyle go ahead in the football game for the national championship.
Alabama on 2nd down and 6. Penn State defense trying to pin Alabama deep down here so that they can force Bama to punt and get the ball in good field position as we go inside 6 minutes to play.
Didn't you show the film to half of Ara Parseghian throwing a pass right here in the same, practically the same situation, hitting the key pass and winning the ball game for Notre Dame and upsetting Alabama?
Robin Weber. 3rd down and about 5. They stay on the ground and don't get the first down. So the Penn State defense does the job, and Alabama will have to punt it from the end zone, and the Lions shouldn't be any worse than midfield. Still plenty of time. Clock running at 5:20 to go in the game.
The Penn State defense stopped them again as they have most of this football game. The offense has not made any yardage, has not been able to make any consistent drives. They've been playing most of the ball game.
Humphries had a pretty good day punting, had one bad one for 9 yards. Oh, it bounces back to him. And he gets another ball out of there, and there's a penalty flag thrown way back upfield by the back judge.
Would you believe there are 12 men on the field?
Who?
By Penn State.
Oh, hello.
And that is 15 yards, if that is what I think it is. They were counting. 92 did not know whether he was to get off the field or not. He's showing his hand, so he's the one.
Penn State would have had the ball in Alabama territory, but they really
We got
never.
12 men on the field on the white Go Big.
So it may very well have cost Penn State the national championship.
Let's see if the defense can come back and stop them one more time. They've still got time if they can make them the tango offense 3 times and punt.
Clock goes now with snap of the ball at 5:03. An incredible turnaround. Nathan runs it out to the 28, close to the 29. Alabama turns it over. Penn State gets it a half a yard away from the goal line. 2 plays to take it in. Can't do it. Then Alabama's punting. Penn State figures to get the ball no worse than midfield. Penn State gets caught with 12 men on the field. 15-yard penalty gives Alabama the first down. The score is 14-7, and the clock is running at 4.5 minutes to play in the game. That's Major Ogilvie. Every time an Alabama back progresses up the field, this great huge building roars with this record crowd of more than 76,000 watching.
Major Ogilvie made a key cut on that play. He was going outside. He saw a little daylight, and when he turned upfield, Keith, he looked like a truck going down.
76,824, which is a new Superdome Sugar Bowl record. First down, Alabama, as the ball is advanced to the 34-yard line. Nathan. He finds daylight on the right side as he got some solid blocking to turn that corner. And Pete Harris, the safety, made the stop for Penn State.
Penn State could not have played the play any better, but Nathan set up his block, faking inside. Keith broke out and picked up 4 or 5 vital yards.
Nathan now 18 carries and 115 yards. He's got to be in the running for the MVP. Exactly 4 minutes to play in the game. 4 minutes. Rutledge. Gets out. Oh! He kept it. And Kubin, defensive end, Larry Kubin got him. That's Chuck Fusino on the sidelines, anxiously watching, hoping. That's all he can do right now is hope. And you see the time winding away. Definitely the friend of Alabama.
Watch Rutledge on this particular play. Larry Kubin, number 74. He wasn't going to pitch it because last time there was a fumble, and also Millett was right in the line of fire.
Up the middle. Out to about the 34. Fullback Whitman. Now they send on the punting team. And I'll bet you one thing, they count all the white shirts this time.
Well, they got a big decision whether they will look like they're moving back for the return.
Suey and Gooman are the deep men. No pressure. Beautiful kick by Humphrey. Oh, it's a dandy. Gooman throws it across the field, trying to get a man to the sideline, and it doesn't work for much. He threw it over to Scott Hettinger, who had come back, and he threw that wide lateral across the field, and very alertly, Randy Scott, I believe it was, had come down to protect that side of the field. Well, with 2:42 to play in the game, Penn State does have the ball, and still with the opportunity. Let's see what they can do with it. And Fusina looking to throw it. Goes to the right side, pass caught. The pass is complete for a first down to Scott Fitzke on the sidelines. Clock is frozen at 2:36. And once again, Fusina zipped the ball.
Fitzke, number 46, pushes as if he's going deep, turns right back to the sideline. The ball is right on target as Fusina rifled that ball right there. 92, Gilliland comes in, makes the play.
Chuck has had a much better second half, 9 out of 14 for 108 yards. From the 32, Fusina to put it up again. Throws it short this time to Mike Gooman, and Gooman doubled up by E.J. Jr. and Wayne Hamilton, the defensive ends who had peeled off to cover that short zone. Gain is out to about the 37, and there's the time. The national championship riding right here. If Penn State could pull it out, almost surely they would get it. It would be the first one ever for Penn State. If Alabama wins its football game, suddenly USC, Oklahoma become big factors in the voting. That'll come next week. The pass intended for Donovan is incomplete. Barry Krause, linebacker, had dropped back, and he slapped it away.
That was a sensational effort by Krause. Watch Pacino. He's trying to throw back over the middle, and Krause gets a good break on the ball. Watch how far he can go. Number 77 right in front of the receiver and gets his head up, knocks it incomplete.
The ball is still sitting near the 37-yard line where it is 3rd down and 6. 3rd and 6, 1:59 to play. This could be it. It's a screen to Gooman. He's covered. He breaks it outside. He dives for the marker. He doesn't get it. He's going to be short of the 1st down. They've got to go. With 1:50 to play, they will have to go on 4th and short.
Keith, they gave him a pretty good spot, it looks like.
Yeah, they did, didn't they? 1:50 to play in the ball game. Penn State, to have any hope of a national championship, they've got to pull it out. Otherwise, several teams claiming it. Bucina back to throw on 1st down. Throws to the sideline. The pass is caught by Gooman, and Gooman fights his way down to the Alabama 44-yard line with 1:38 to play. That is another 1st down. As they move the chains, and Penn State's in a hurry, that gained 14 yards. That's all there's left. 1:38. Number 1 Penn State trailing number 2 Alabama by a score of 14-7. Bucina rolls and throws. The pass is caught by Brad Scoble. Tumbles out of bounds. Saves time at the Alabama 41.
I wonder if Alabama will change their defensive strategies. They have defended with 3 men rushing on each of these plays. Will they change up and put the big rush on that they had so much success with all throughout this ball game?
Those are the numbers on Chuck Bucina in the ball game. In this half, he's 13 out of 19 for 135 yards and a touchdown. He's been intercepted, however, 3 times. It's 2nd down and 7 from the Alabama 41. 1:30 to play now as Bucina rolls out, throws the ball, and threw it away. He dumped it. 1:28 to play in the game. Marty Lyons and Byron Braggs were hunting him, and Frank, they went back to what had been so successful for him.
Absolutely. Bear called timeout and says, hey, man, we're going after him. And they did. Bucina had to get rid of the ball to prevent a big loss.
In this kind of a defensive play, though, they do stretch out the so-called short zone area because the deep people are playing way back. Let's see. 1:28 to play. 3rd down and 7. Bucina goes deep with it. Scoble is out there and can't get it. Brad Scoble, number 80, going on a post. Deep. Let's watch him.
Let's watch Scoble and see if he might think it's interference. Number 19 leg right there. See what he does. Scoble is in behind him momentarily, but the ball is overthrown, but he trips him right there. That's close.
Yep. It is 4th down, Penn State, 7 yards to go, 1:22 to play in the game. Alabama leads 14-7. You know the story. You know the history.
Hurry up! Hurry up!
Alabama gets the ball. Pass intended for Bassett. Murray leg. Had him covered like a blanket.
Keith, they say Murray leg is always Johnny on the spot, and I believe him.
Alabama gets the football. 1st down at the 41 with only 1:16 to play. Timeouts, Penn State 2. Here you don't want to make a mistake. Penn State has to make a choice as to when they're going to call the timeout. Nathan breaks out of there. And Tony Nathan runs out to the 48-yard line for 7 yards, and now Joe Paterno calls the time. One more look at what might have been Penn State's last offensive play of the season.
That's it, number 81, curling back to the inside. Let's see leg, number 19. The break on the ball by leg is just sensational. He was behind him, but when the ball got to the receiver, he was in front to break it up. That's an All-American play.
Matter there of not so much the receiver trying to catch it, but prevent leg from intercepting and running it back upfield. Well, back in 1969, Penn State beat Kansas with a 2-point conversion late in the game, 15-14. Penn State benefited from the 12th man on the field, but here in this memorable Sugar Bowl game, they were hurt by the 12th man on the field. Here's Cena, the gloom beginning to settle in a little bit now on the Penn State side of the field. 1:02 to play in the ball game. Alabama just trying to sit on it. They've got a 2nd down and 2 from up near the 49. Major Ogilvie carries it. He's held just short of midfield, so they'll be a yard short of a 1st down. And we're inside a minute to play. It's been a tremendous football game. Just a tremendous football game. 3rd down, a yard for the 1st down. Nathan is held short of the 1st down. It'll be 4th and 1. Penn State with no more timeouts remaining. Can't stop the clock.
Now's the time they'll have to go for the block, I would think. If Alabama is going to punt the ball, their only chance would be to block it and pick it up and score with it.
The clock is running. 40 seconds to play.
They'll take a 5-yard penalty here.
Won't bother anybody to back them up 5. There it goes. So precious.
All you tell your kicker here is catch it, watch it in, and kick it with as fast a footwork as you possibly can.
Ball skitters back to Woody Humphrey. They make the run at the block. It's a poor kick. It goes out of bounds with 12 seconds to play. So Penn State's going to get at least 1 play off, maybe 2. 12 kicks remaining. Barrett Krause is the first lineman to get the MVP award of the Sugar Bowl since 1956.
And you think that Penn State has been averaging close to 400 yards in offense and could not move the ball against an Alabama team that some of the opponents this year had much success. You give the defensive coaches and staff tremendous credit for designing that defense.
Way back before the first game was played in the preseason poll, major polls had Alabama picked. They're close, if not there, when it's all done. Over the middle it goes. Intercepted by Clement. And Clement is out of bounds with 2 seconds remaining to play. The crowd roaring out over the field. 2 seconds to play. That is the 4th interception by Alabama, and there are people all over the field. So it's going to take a while to either run off the clock and forget it, or try to hang on and run 1 more play. See him come pouring down out of the stands and out onto the field. Relatively academic. Paul Bear Bryant, who has won 4 national championships, conceivably has won his 5th. Have to wait until all the poll voting is done, really, to know that all the games have been played. Don't necessarily get the national championship because you finish the season undefeated. Joe Paterno's done that 4 times. He didn't get it. 1966 in the 67 bowls, for example, Alabama beat Nebraska 34-7 in the Sugar Bowl game. Finished the year 11-0, but Notre Dame and Michigan State finished the bowls ranked ahead of them. Joe is going to be turned aside 1 more time as he hunts elusive number 1. That's your last play of the ball game. It is over. Alabama has defeated Penn State by a score of 14-7. Alabama has won 6 times in the Sugar Bowl, and the bear goes for a ride. As Joe Paterno comes into that melee trying to find Paul Bryant to shake his head.
Well, you just hate in a game like this to see anybody lose. Both teams, outstanding squads, tremendous young men.
This news will ring with clarity through at least 2 locker rooms. One in Pasadena and one in Miami.
They'll play 10 points better because of this upset of Penn State. Both teams on the West Coast and, of course, Oklahoma in the Orange Bowl.
I don't mean to suggest either that Michigan wouldn't be in a position to do some arguing about a national championship if they handle the Trojans from Southern Cal in the Rose Bowl.
I concur.
So there is no undefeated team in Division 1A in 1978, just as there were none in 1977. When it was all done, only Texas went into a postseason bowl game. Notre Dame beat them. Penn State comes in undefeated. Alabama beats them. We will have the trophy presentations. Jim Lampley will cover it for you. Right now, it's an Alabama story, and it's going to be an Alabama party tonight that is going to make this old town jump.